Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's Janet Wakeland here with Remarkably Created. And in today's One Take Wonder video, I haven't called them that in a long time. Oh my gosh. In today's Facebook Live video, we are going to take a look at the brand new 2024 Stampin' Up! Colors. We're going to look at some of the amazing in-color products. We're going to compare and contrast those colors to colors that are currently in the Stampin' Up! Lineup. And we're going to go ahead and give you a sneak peek of a few stamps as we put ink to the stamps and ink to the paper. So the products that I'm talking about are from this catalog right here. This is the brand new 2022-23 catalog. Right now, demonstrators have a pre-order list that we are shopping from, and anybody who joins Stampin' Up! This month can select from those pre-order products in their starter kit. This catalog will go live on May 3rd for the public. And if you live in the US and do not have a demonstrator that you work with, I would love to be your demonstrator, providing you with a complimentary copy of this catalog, a first order coupon, and lots of other goodness throughout the year. So let's flip the camera around. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? Oh, just happy, happy summer, spring products. And I am a huge fan of candies like Skittles and Sour Patch Kids, and this kind of reminds me a lot of that. But before we get started breaking all of this down, let's have a little bit of a vote. Let's share with you a sneak peek, and let's get you to vote on what stamps we'll put a little bit of ink to as we bring these new colors to life. So the first set to pick from is an exclusive host set called Sit, Stay, Relax. And the reason why it's called that is because there's a sweet little furry critter on each one of the chairs. And then there's some great greetings there. So Sit, Stay, Relax is choice 1. Choice 2 is our Botanical Layers. And this is actually part of a really cool bundle, a bundle that does not have dies and does not have a punch. It is a bundle that is bundled with vellum. Really, really cool. So this would be choice number 2 for us to ink up. And then choice number 3 in our voting is Cup of Tea. So I'm going to go through all of the in colors, but again, take a moment to vote on which one we're going to put some ink to and use to compare and contrast our colors. Sit, Stay, Relax, Botanical Layers, or Cup of Tea. One of those 3 will come back at the end and we'll ink them up. So let's pull some of this aside for just a second. Move some of this off to the side. And Stampin' Up! Has something called an in-color program. And the way that the in-color program works is Stampin' Up! every single year introduces 5 brand new colors. And those colors then remain in our line for 2 years. Which means that every single year we are getting 5 new colors in our lineup. Colors that are on trend, colors that might fill a little bit of a void in our core 48 colors, colors just to freshen up your stamping and things like that. So for this year, the 2022-24 colors, we have our Tahitian Tide, our Parakeet Party, our Orchid Oasis, our Starry Sky, and our Sweet Sorbet. And right now you're looking at them on your computer. The way that you see things when you look at them online depends on the lighting here in my studio, how it's kind of being portrayed to you. Also can be impacted by the light that is on your screen as well as the graphic cards on your computer. For me personally, one of the things that I always do is I never judge the colors until I actually have them in my studio, although I will tell you I had an instant connection to the vibrant hue of these colors seeing them online, and it really did hold true having them come. So I love to have them in hand, and we'll talk a little bit about a really cool in-color sampler that I'll be offering to you. So in addition to the ink pads that you just saw, you're going to be able to purchase 12 by 12 cardstock in an assortment pack. And then you have the colors also available 8.5 by 11 in individual card packs. So if all you want is just our beautiful new Parakeet Party, you could do that, but there's also a nice sampling. If investing in the ink pads up front is not necessarily something in the budget. One of the things that I always like to recommend is starting with just the markers. There's so many ways that you can use the markers to color stamps, to omit images. You can actually also use them with the watercolors and the aqua painters and things like that. And we do have the colors in a set of markers. In addition, for those of you that really like to color, we have all 5 of the in colors available in our Stampin Blends. So you're going to be able to shade and color with the Stampin Blends. So that's a whole lot of fun that you're going to have that option in this color lineup this year. Something else is that we have 2 types of ribbon that coordinate that are in those colors. I don't know if you can see this, but look at this. These are all shimmery. They look like they've come from the disco. I mean, they're just so much fun, guys. The other 5 colors that we have is in Baker's Twine, and they're a little late to the party. There were a few things just because of all of the challenges of shipping channels and things are a little late to the party, but as soon as they arrive at my house, I will be showcasing them for you. But we also have Baker's Twine that will be in these beautiful 5 colors. There's also some additional embellishments. And then, for example, like the Glossy Dot Assortment, while not specifically labeled as 2022-24 in colors, they just match perfectly as well as with other products. Something else fun with this lot is that you're going to find Glimmer Paper, and I, of course, love my sparkles. And so you're going to see that we have Glimmer Paper in the 5 new in colors. And it is available as a 6x6 pack. And I'm a huge fan of 6x6 paper. It's so much easier to store, and I can do so much with it, both card making and scrapbooking. So you're gonna have Glimmer Paper in the in colors. You're also going to have what I call monochromatic papers, or some people call them solid colors. And again, in the 6x6 packs. And our prints this year, I'll hold them up to the screen. So you're gonna have those solid colors. And you've got this really fun stripe. You've got dots. If I turn it over, you've got some florals, and then look at that really cool plaid. So you have this assortment pack of 6x6 papers in the in colors. So lots and lots of options there. And then something else fun, there's a new suite coming called Tea Boutique. And you're going to find in the Tea Boutique note cards and envelopes in these colors. And I love that they just have pretty little flowers on the envelopes, and that the card itself is plain on the front, which means that you don't have to use them with the products in the Tea Boutique. You can use them with anything. I mean, look how cute these little chairs from Sit, Stay, Relax would be on there, right? Or some bold botanicals, and then a few little flowers on the front of them. So I love that while you can hit the I Want It All button in the suite and get these as part of the suite, they're also available individually. And I also love that the envelopes are pre-done. So one less step in having a fancy decorated envelope. And I saw a really fun project last night in a presentation that I attended from Stampin' Up called On Tour, that I will be showcasing for you. It will be one of the projects that will come with my in color sampler for you. And then speaking of the Tea Boutique, one of the things that is a lot of fun about the paper in the Tea Boutique is that it does highlight and spotlight all 5 of the new in colors coming in the prints of the designer paper. So you've got these really fun teapots, flowers that match the flowers on the note cards, sweet little envelopes, more teapots. You have paper, some floral stems, some tiny little dainty flowers, teacups, more pretty dainty little flowers, lemons. And I guess I gotta get used to putting lemon in my tea or something, because I always see lemon wedges as part of any type of tea set. And then you've got these fun teacups. And then if I was to flip them all over again, what you're gonna see is some beautiful solid prints again that you're going to be able to do some fun things with. So let's remove all of this off the table, and let's take a look at how these new colors stack up against current colors in the Stampin' Up! Line. And again, the real way to know if you love it or don't love it is actually by owning it. And so I mentioned my in-color samplers, so you want to make sure that you're on my mailing list so that you can get a little in-color snack, a little in-color taste when the catalog goes live. And there'll be lots and lots of goodies in there for you. So let's start first with our Orchid Oasis, which has this beautiful deep purple tints. And there's our gorgeous grape and our Highland Heather. Purple Posy is long retired. And then our fresh freesia, just so you can see how it fits. And then this is kind of a cooler purple. So let's take a look at it here for just a second. For those of you thinking, well, that looks kind of blue. There's our Night of Navy. So I love that I can use it most definitely with the purples, but I can pull the blue hues out of it by mixing. Oh, that's Starry Sky. Sorry, you want to see that with Starry Sky, but it does look great with Starry Sky, doesn't it? The navy, so we can pull the navy out so it's not really navy. And when I pull the other blues, it is definitely not a blue at all, okay? There's nothing blue about that Orchid Oasis. And now you can see how it pops against all the other colors and how there really is nothing like it in the current Stampin' Up! Lineup. So while we have Night of Navy out, let's put our Orchid Oasis aside and let's take a look at the other color that I brought in. And that's our Starry Sky. And again, when you look at it online, some of you were thinking, well, oh, that looks kind of like Night of Navy. Maybe there's an old color like a Dapper Denim or something that you're thinking of. And it's not that warmth of those. It's definitely got more, to me, when I look at it, a cooler hue. But this is our Starry Sky. This is our Night of Navy. And then when we take a look at our blues, got the blues in the studio, you can see again that it really does fill in really, really nicely. You're going to start to see some cool color combinations. You know, I can't wait to use Balmy Blue with Starry Sky and just kind of pull them all together. Look at those three together are really fun blues. So you can see that Starry Sky again has its place amongst all of our cool blues right now. So then moving on. Another one of our cool new in colors. I just like saying Parakeet Party. I just think it's just a fun name to say. And let's look at it as we compare and contrast it with some of the greens that we currently have in our lineup or that are retiring. Of course, as we introduce 5 new colors, that means we have to say goodbye to 5 colors. And currently that would be your Cinnamon Cider, your Bumblebee, your Misty Moonlight, your Magenta Madness, your Just Jade. So this kind of has a little bit of a yellowish tint. And I've been around a very, very long time as a demonstrator, 26 years now, I can officially say, instead of almost 26. And some people may be thinking of Lemon Lime Twist, a color from long, long ago. And then also I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, that looks just like Granny Apple Green, which might be the closest to it, but there's your Granny Apple Green. So it's not even close. But they pair really, really well together, and you're gonna have a lot of fun creating some really pretty cards and using these two together to create depth of greenery and things like that. You throw in that pear pizzazz and look how much fun that is. So again, Parakeet Party definitely has its place amongst all of our greens that are out there. And let's pop back to Tahitian Tide again for just a minute. We're gonna pull in Starry Sky, which is the other new in color. And again, nothing like Bermuda Bay. It's just a really pretty, I keep thinking of those beautiful waters in the Caribbean and in Fiji and places like that. And actually even in Croatia, the waters in Croatia were just like blue like this, absolutely amazing blues. And so you're going to have this beautiful bright pop of blue in your blue lineup and things like that. And of course, with lots and lots of our different products being nature themed, having colors that are part of nature, your blues and your greens and things like that are definitely always nice to have in your stash. And so then there's one last color for us to say hi to and take a look at, and that's our Sweet Sorbet. And again, it has kind of a little bit of a pinkish red look to it, but let's see how it stands up against our pinks and our reds. So Polished Pink, one of our current in colors. We have our Magenta Madness, which is the one that's retiring. We have our Flirty Flamingo. We have our Melon Mambo, and I'll be honest, this is the one I thought it might be close to online. Then when I opened it up, I thought, maybe it's close to Poppy Parade. There's Real Red. There's Cherry Cobbler, and let me bring this back up, and it's not even close to Poppy Parade, okay? And so again, by having a sample of them and being able to put them against the cardstocks you have, or playing with just that sampler, you're going to be able to decide whether you love it or not. So again, stay tuned for that sampler. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's bring in some paper. And let me see if I can scroll back for just a second. Okay, it seems like Cup of Tea we have the most votes for. So that's what we're going to use to compare and contrast. Or not compare and contrast, but just to put ink to stamp to see how the colors look. Ink looks against the cardstock. That's kind of a fun way to contrast things as well. So I've got my stamp. Let me get my damp chamois, and I forgot a towel, so we're just going to grab a piece of paper here. Okay, so that I can tap it off onto. And let's start first with our Tahitian Tide. Brand new pads. How much fun is that, right? And we're just going to make sure we get it good and inked. We're going to just press. And I'm just using our basic white cardstock. And so, of course, the color is always going to vary a little bit, whether you're using it on vanilla or shimmer white, or whether you're stamping on color cardstock. So you're going to get a different depth of color. But I wanted to put it on the basic white because that is the one. Yes, in just a minute, Deb, let me remember that Sweet Sorbet next to Calypso Coral. Good question. I will definitely pull that out for you. But again, I like to look at it on the white just to see that vibrancy and that hue. So let's go ahead and clean off that stamp. And as I do during my videos, I love to give away a prize, and our Shimmer Crystal Effects is on its way to our last winner. And so since I don't have new ink colors to give you, one of the things that I can give you is a chamois and a storage case for your chamois. If you are somebody who has never used our chamois to clean your stamps, comment below about that because you really need one. And one of you will be the lucky recipient of that chamois and storage case. I just use our clear mount stamp cases. And yours won't be like this. Yours will be brand new, I promise you. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's our beautiful, and I always gotta learn the names of them, Orchid Oasis. I love that Stampin' Up! Uses what's called an alliteration to name their products, so that's always a lot of fun, because then it makes them fun to say. They just roll off your tongue. So our Sweet Sorbet. The other thing is over the years, Stampin' Up! Has used a lot of food names in their colors, and it always makes me hungry. There's always something I'm craving, like now I want sorbet. So there's our sorbet. And my favorite one to say, and I want to make sure this is good and clean right now, guys, so just hang on a second because we just stamped it with that red, so I want to make sure that there's nothing deep down inside of that. Just because we're going to go to that light green, which I should have done before the red, and I should have saved the red for the end. So our Parakeet Party. And ignore me, I'm going to stamp off screen real quick just so I don't embarrass myself, make sure there's no red in it. Make sure I got it clean enough. So we've got our beautiful Parakeet Party. And then lastly, we have our Starry Sky. And all of you that won prizes while we were guessing the names of these, your prizes are on the way. Some of you may have already received them. They're in the hands of our timely, most efficient U.S. Postal Service, right? So who knows how long some things take anymore. There seems to be no standard, but I digress. And then there's our beautiful Starry Sky. Now, one of the things that I will be providing and I will be doing, I just came off the road. We just had 2 family deaths, unfortunately, and my brother's arriving. So life is totally chaotic right now, but I will stamp similar colors, just like I did the cardstock for you. So I'll stamp Night of Navy next to this, Granny Apple, Poppy Parade, Gorgeous Grapes, all stamped similar colors next to the stamps as well. But just for a little bit of fun, let's just take our blends and do that so that you can see. And our blends are sold as duos, which means that you get the light and the dark version together so that you can do shading with them. And you're gonna love having these if you love to color. They just blend so nice. So there's the dark version. The other thing that I've learned is that you can't judge a marker, an ink pad, or a stamp necessarily by its cap or its label. Really, the best way to judge it is to have a sampler like this. And my customers will be receiving a bookmark sampler at least with some of the colors. And let's go. That's, oh, sorry. That was, we already did that. That's what I get for talking. Ignore that. Sorry about that. That's what I get for picking them up and showing them to you. So there's our Sorbet, dark and light. And then our Parakeet. And if you're not familiar with our Stampin' Blends, there's a brush tip and there is a bullet point tip. So we've got our colors. And then lastly, the Starry Sky, the one that I tried to do earlier. So I will be doing some more presentations. Again, I'll have graphics and images for you contrasting all of the inks side by side. But I can tell you that if the inks look like this, you know, they're gonna look just as nice with the paper and just as different. So when we compared and contrasted the paper, the inks are gonna have that same comparison and contrast. Now Deb asked, let me see if I have Calypso Coral here. I may not, so Saffron. I will post a picture for you of Calypso Coral. Let me just see, hold on a minute, maybe I have it in this stash right here. Let me see if I have a Calypso Coral for you. Oh, there we go, yes we do. Okay. So here's our, and let's put this up into the light. That's Poppy Parade. Here's our Sweet Sorbet and our Calypso Coral. So they're not even close. Just a whole lot different for you. So lots and lots of fun coming with our beautiful new colors from Stampin' Up, as well as lots of coordinating product with them. A couple of ways that I can help you is make sure if you don't have a demonstrator in the US, you ask for one of our beautiful catalogs by messaging me your name and email, address and email. Also, you want to make sure you're on my mailing list to find out all about my in-color classes and my in-color samplers. I will begin accepting reservations for them next week. And then payment, we will begin accepting payment 7 days before the catalog goes live on May 3rd. And of course, you want to like and follow me here because I'll be doing lots more presentations and bringing a lot of our fun, new, beautiful products to life. There's over 66 new stamp sets and 10 new suites, all kinds of amazing products in this beautiful catalog. So thanks for joining me just a little bit this morning, guys, and I can't wait to bring all of the new goodies to life for you.